Good afternoon to you and welcome. This is World at Noon. I am Uyuni Ayini Bara. Ondo State's Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has dismissed insinuations during the round that contractors handling various road projects across the state have not been fully mobilized. Governor Aiyedatiwa, during his visit to our local government area of the state, in continuation of his term of cancer areas ahead of the APC governorship primary election, said his commitment to bridge infrastructural gaps across the state is unshaken. The governor, who was applauded by royal fathers and people of the council area, restated his dedication to good governance. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole reports that the governor also visited Osrc local government area of the state.
All roads led to the ancient palace of Odowo as Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa was received by traditional rulers and residents of the council area. The governor, who was in the ancient town in continuation of his tour of the council area ahead of the governorship primary election, expressed his appreciation to the royal fathers and the people, which are promised to do more in the delivery of democratic dividends.
Before I can go beyond 2025, I have to go through a process, which is called an electoral process put in place by our political party APC. Wọ́n dẹ̀ máa dìbò ẹni ọjọ́ Sátọ̀dé, àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ wa ló máa dìbò ṣe gbogbo ìlú. Adẹ̀mọ́ gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ wa yìí, abẹ́ àṣẹ yín náà wà lóyìn ilẹ̀ ìjọba lé wọn lórí. Adẹ̀mọ́ ẹgbẹ́ ti pa àṣẹ ní gbangba, gbogbo àgbáyé ti gbọ́ wọ́n ti rí, ẹ̀rọ amóhùnmáwòrán ti gbé. Ìwé ìròyìn ti kọ jáde pé gbogbo ọba gbogbo orí adé ti ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo pé wọ́n ti dúró ti gómìnà tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ pé kó máa tẹ̀síwájú sí
The Olowo Oba Ajibade Gbadegesin Ogunoye, who prayed for the success of the governor, described him as a humble and God-fearing individual whose passion to promote the well-being of the people is evident.
Ní èrò mi yìí kó ká fọwọ́ tì í lẹ́yìn. Ibi pẹ̀lú àwọn ọba la wà ní àwọn local government. A mọ̀ pé ẹ̀yin ló yẹ nípò. Òun náà láti wà ní lẹ́yìn táwa fi ọwọ́ gbogbo òlù pé gómìnà tá a máa wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ lélẹ́yìn. Èyí tó fẹ́ ṣe ní Sátidé, gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wa ó máa dìbò ńbẹ̀, ẹ dìbò fún Lucky Orimisan Aiyedatiwa.
The impressive turnout by people of the council area at Methodist Primary School was a testament to the love and support for the governor. A chieftain of the party in the council area, Akin Awodeyi Akinseyinde, who rallied support for Governor Aiyedatiwa, appealed to party members not to waver. Governor Aiyedatiwa, who was visibly happy, appreciated his gathering for the massive turnout. The governor also used the occasion to dismiss insinuations that the state government was owing contractors handling road projects across the state.
Tó jẹ́ kí di igbákejì gómìnà ọ̀wọ́n bí wọ́n ti jáde o. Ìdí rẹ̀ ni mo fi sọ pé ẹ̀yẹ́ máa ṣe o. Láti a máa dìbò yẹn ní 2020, ìbò tó jáde fún ẹgbẹ́ APC tí ẹ dì fún èmi àti arákùnrin, it was in excess of 35,000, the highest in history.
The coast of the APC was enlarged in the council area as some members of the opposition party were received into the ruling party at the event. Governor Aiyedatiwa, in continuation of his tour, had visited the former headquarters of Osrc government area of the state, where he was received by royal fathers in the council area at the local government secretariat. Governor Aiyedatiwa appreciated the support of the royal fathers and sought their blessings.
About 2 weeks ago, the 130 Crown Club, the umbrella for the second levels and third levels of Ombas in Ondo State. We all came together, and you agreed with one mind and spoke with one voice concerning me, among other things that you presented on that day. But the one that concerns me, is your resolution, your resolve that I should continue as the governor of Ondo State beyond 2025.
The Olute of Ute, Oba Oluwole Akinrogbe, said the governor has demonstrated competence and performed beyond expectations, hence their support for him.
Lucky Olùsàn ayé àti wà ní sẹ́ni kò ń ṣe wípé wọ́n lọ sí fúnra wọn wọ́n lọ sí fún ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣẹ́ àti ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn.
The governor later addressed members of the APC, where he urged them to keep the flag flying while sustaining their commitment ahead of this weekend's shadow election. Aiyedatiwa appealed to residents of the area to join hands with government to further strengthen the security architecture of the area and the state. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress APC says 171,922 delegates will elect its candidate for the November 16 governorship election in Ondo State. The delegates are members of the APC drawn from the 203 wards in the 18 local government areas of the state and duly certified to take part in tomorrow's governorship primary. The National Organizing Secretary of the party, Alhaji Mohammed Adungu, disclosed the number at the National Secretariat of the party, where its national chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje, inaugurated the 7-member governorship primary election committee for the state. Adungu said while the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC sent the certified true copy of 173,181 membership registered to the party, a revalidation done by the party brought the figure down to 171,922. Akintunde Akishimola has a breakdown of the figure at the local government level.
Ilaje has the highest number of APC delegates with 27,015 or 15.5%, followed by Ondo West 23,258, Akoko Northwest 15,986, Akure North 11,404, and Ondo East 10,733. Ifedore has 10,063 delegates, Akoko Northeast 9,798, Okitipupa 9,515, Akure South 8,441, and Akoko Southwest 8,214. Others are Akoko Southeast 7,518, Udigbo 7,418, Owo 5,510, Idori 5,108, and Ose Council Area 4,495. The rest of the APC delegates are 4,309 from Ileoluji Okegbo, 3,304 from Irili, and 1,084 from Eseodo local government area of Ondo State.
The Inspector General of Police, Olu Kayode Egbetokun, has withdrawn all police officers attached to embattled former governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello. The order for the withdrawal is contained in a police message emanating from the force headquarters in Abuja. The Nigerian Immigration Service had placed the former governor on its watch list after the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, declared him wanted in connection to an alleged case of money laundering to the tune of 18.2 billion naira. Earlier, EFCC declared Bello wanted, asking members of the public with useful information about the former governor's whereabouts to contact any of the Commission's offices across the country. The Anti-Graft Commission had moved to arraign the former governor before a federal high court sitting in Abuja. The Federal High Court in Kano has ordered the suspension of the national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, by his word. The order is sequel to an expert motion filed by Dr. Ganduje seeking to enforce his fundamental right to a fair hearing. APC executives in Ganduje ward of Kawantin, Tofa Council area of Kano State, and on April 16 suspended him over alleged corruption. The decision was quashed by both the State Working Committee of APC in Kano and the National Working Committee. A judge of the Kano State High Court, Usman Naba, affirmed the suspension was in the ex parte order delivered by the Federal High Court sitting in Kano. Justice Aminu Niman said the purported suspension should not be implemented until the case is heard and determined. The judge subsequently fixed April 30 to hear Ganduje's appeal. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has carried out an enforcement raid at 2 supermarkets in Abuja to ensure adherence to price display and quantity regulations. Executive Secretary of the Commission, Adamu Abdullahi, said the exercise targeted at reducing high cost of food commodities nationwide would be extended to Lagos, Port Harcourt, Ibadan, Kano, Kaduna, and other cities in the coming weeks. Abdullahi said unannounced inspection will be carried out at stores and local markets across different states as part of measures to control the abnormal price surges, which had failed to respond to the appreciation of the naira in recent weeks. Food inflation has been a recurring issue, influencing the steady increase of Nigeria's headline inflation of 33.2% and an unprecedented food inflation rate of 40% in March 2024. The situation was exacerbated by the extensive fall of the naira against the dollar in January and February, leading to the soaring prices of essential goods and services, raising the cost of living to an all-time high. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, says the federal government will lay down ways and means to deal with the problem of too much money in the system. Fielding questions from journalists after a meeting with investors at the ongoing spring meetings of IMF and World Bank in Washington, D.C. He said the fiscal and monetary authorities were complementing each other to bring down inflation. The minister said the nation's tax GDP was too low, even lower than the African region average. He, however, said reforms were on the way to streamline the number of taxes, deploy technology, and implement policies that would double tax revenue in the next 3 years. The Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RMAFC, says a total sum of 7.3 trillion naira accrued into the Federation account between July and December 2023, indicating an increased revenue inflow. It said the amount shared by Federation Account Location Committee was remitted to Central Bank of Nigeria. RMAFC Chairman Mohammed Shehu said the Commission reported that this amount is higher than the 5.24 trillion naira realized during the first half of the year 2023. According to Shehu, out of the total gross revenue inflows into Federation accounts, the sum of 1.69 trillion naira was transferred to the exchange gain differential account, thus leaving a balance of 5.475 billion naira for distribution. Shehu stressed that from the amount, 3.2 trillion naira was deducted as approved statutory deductions by the OAGF, leaving a net balance of 2.2 trillion naira for distribution within the 3 tiers of government in the period under review. He added that within the period under review, the net sum of 4 trillion naira was shared within the 3 tiers of government. Oil and gold prices have jumped after U.S. officials said an Israeli missile has struck Iran. The international benchmark rose by 1.8% to $88 a barrel, while gold briefly came close to a record high before falling back to nearly $2,400 an ounce. Investors have been closely watching Israel's reaction to Iran's red drone and missile attack last weekend. There are concerns a wartime conflict in the Middle East could disrupt oil supplies. Oil prices had jumped by as much as 3.5% initially. However, gains receded after Iranian state media claimed that there was no damage in Isfahan province, where there had been reports of explosion. More than 10,000 Palestinians have been displaced after 2,000 housing units were destroyed by occupation forces in Southern Strip, Central Gaza Strip. Over 500 residential towers had been razed in the town, while the municipal headquarters, water wells, pumps, sewage networks, water networks have been destroyed. 6 government schools and many private schools, a school for the blind, were also leveled, shattering the dreams of young students. Adirunke Palawale has the detail.
This ruined building is the Southern Gaza Strip. Used to be about Accra and Mohammed Al-Fajr School. The 10-year-old friends from Eastern Canyonis, traumatized from 6 months of war stay at its destroyed shell once a place of learning. The school is now riddled with bullets. Papers are scattered across God's classroom, poster peeled off the walls, damaged books line the floor. It is a grim reminder of the studies and time spent with friends for 5th grader. After those days feels like a distant memory.
What is this destruction? Destruction. We used to study in these schools, and we used to play in the playground. They would bring us toys. We would go out during recess. We would go to the classroom and walk around. The principal would come to the classrooms. He would give us the books. We would go there and see who is coming and going. We would stand at the school gate. We were living well.
The battered school represents the shattered dreams of many young Ghanaians and highlights all they have lost since the conflicts began. Hamas militants from the enclave attacked Israel on October 7. On October 7 last year, killing 1,200 people and taking over 200 hostages. Israel's retaliatory air and ground offensive has killed over 33,000 Palestinians. Much of Gaza looks just like this, reduced to rubble and wasteland. That includes many schools with children, making up about half of Gaza's 2.3 million population. Palestinians across the desert-packed enclave face severe shortages of water, foods, medicine and healthcare. Many young students who were hungry to learn now wonder if they will ever be able to pack their books and go back to school again. Sat on the school rubble, teacher Mohammed Al-Qadri reflects on the wide-scale ruin of Gaza's education system.
There is destruction of educational institutions and spaces, resulting in the destruction of educational life. There is destruction of universities. Almost all the Gaza Strip's universities have been destroyed. Almost all schools have been destroyed, along with kindergartens. There is complete destruction of the Gaza Strip and the education sector.
Guardians of all ages are desperate for signs that the fighting will end, but they and non-meditators have failed to narrow differences between both sides enough to secure a ceasefire, despite proposals being passed back and forth. Still, some like Alpha James have not lost all hope, despite having lost friends in the conflicts. This is the school that we lived in, he says. It was the best school around. Adirunke Kolawole, Osrc News.
And Indians have begun voting in the world's largest election as Prime Minister Narendra Modi seeks 6th of the historic third term on the back of issues such as growth, welfare, nationalism and personal policy. The vote pits Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party (BJP) against an alliance of 24 opposition parties that promise greater affirmative action and more handouts while stressing what they call the need to save democratic institutions. Modi was among those queuing outside polling stations well before the opening time, 7 a.m. amid tight security. Friday's phase is the first and largest of 7 covering 166 million voters in 102 constituencies across 21 states and territories, from Tamil Nadu in the south of Arunachal Pradesh of the Himalayan frontier with China. A full 12-person jury has been sworn in for ex-U.S. President Donald Trump's historic criminal trial in New York City. Justice Joanne Merchant declared after 7 men and 5 women were selected for the panel. The court could hear opening arguments as soon as Monday. The trial, the first ever in which a former U.S. Stormy Daniels was given $130,000 before the 2016 election to buy her silence about an affair she claims she had with Mr. Trump, an affair that Mr. Trump denies having. The payment itself was not directly illegal, and Mr. Trump has pleaded not guilty. A fossil jawbone found by a British girl and her father on a beach in Somerset, England, belongs to a gigantic marine reptile dating to 202 million years ago. Researchers said the bone was from a type of ocean-going reptile between 22 and 26 meters long. Akintunde Akinshemola has more.
Oh, that's just an exceptional find.
This jawbone fossil found by British father duo belonged to perhaps the largest known marine reptile on Earth, dating back to around 202 million years ago. Ruby and Justin Reynolds found the bone in May 2020 on a beach in Somerset, England. They contacted paleontologist Dean Lomax, who said 4 years before their discovery, fossil hunter Paul de la Salle found a similar bone just down the coast.
We described Paul's bone in 2018 in a study as an unusual giant jawbone, part of a saranga from right at the back of the jaw of an ichthyosaur.
Researchers said the Reynolds bone is also from an ichthyosaur. The discovery of a second jawbone confirms the existence of a new species not previously known.
Based on that unique shape, various different structures, the fact that they're both right from the end of the Triassic period, about 202 million years ago, supports our identification of something entirely new to science, which we've named as a new species called Ichthyotitan severnensis.
Ichthyotitan severnensis was between 72 and 85 feet long. That means it will rival the largest animal to ever exist, the blue whale, which can reach up to 100 feet long.
No other marine reptiles got as large as these animals did.
The giant marine reptile lived 13 million years later than any others known to date. Researchers believe they could have survived until a global mass extinction event about 201 million years ago.
It's quite remarkable to think that gigantic blue whale-sized ichthyosaurs were swimming in the oceans around the time the dinosaurs were walking on land in what is now the UK during the Triassic period.
These jawbones provide tantalizing evidence that perhaps one day, fingers crossed, a complete skull or a skeleton might be found. You never know. Akintunde Akinshemola, Osrc News.
In sports, Ondo State Commissioner for Youth and Sport Development, Saka Yusuf Ogunleye, has commended the doggedness of Sunshine Queens for defeating Ekiti Queens in March Day 13 of Nigeria Women Football League. His earlier pledge of cash prize, but the team charged them to win their last match of the season against Remo Stars latest next week. Yusuf Ogunleye also urged Sunshine Stars Football Club to wake up from their slumber and win their next home tie against Enyimba FC in Akure. He said their current position on the Nigeria Professional Football League NPFL log was precarious. Yusuf Ogunleye promised to be present at the subsequent matches of the two teams to give them needed support and motivation. And with that, we conclude World at Noon. Thank you very much for watching. Do enjoy the rest of your day.